Originally, I was drawn to education because the educators that were there for me were vital to my success. I could not have grown into the person that I am today without them. There are a lot of students who really need to have that one person at school that is there for them and that stands by them and that is willing to speak up for them even when it's a difficult conversation. I often tell my students that I believe in them, and I set really high expectations and goals. And when I set high expectations and goals and they know that somebody believes in them, then they start to believe in themselves as well. Even if they didn't meet their goal, they gave it their best shot, and we often learn the most from the goals that we don't meet. All experiments don't always result in the hypothesis being proven true. The most learning happens whenever we actually make mistakes and we grow from those experiences as a result. So I think that reflection and having a safe space to be able to make mistakes is vital for all of our students.
What drew me to education is very similar to what inspired me to travel. It is the fact that everyone has a story and everyone has a voice and everyone has a perspective. It's so important to learn about their cultures, who they are, what they like, what they dislike. It's important to laugh with them. It's important to take that time so that you can get their buy-in, so that they know that you care about them and they can achieve the outcomes and goals that you've set with respect to who they are as individual learners. That is also key to personalized instruction, being able to see where students are in a given moment and then just go with that. You have your plan, you have your standard, but you see those needs and they're different every single day. Okay, just got it. So by new, just got it. Is getting something new a good feeling?
Yes.
Yeah. My passion is collaboration with my colleagues and collaboration with my students. I have co-teachers in many of my classes, and I love partnering with mentees. I love to learn. You have to be a lifelong learner when you're a teacher. That's something that is near and dear to my heart.
Ask any one of my students, what is the motto of my classroom? They would say, the idea of effort, not perfection. So the first thing that I believe about education is a continual process. It's a continual process for the students. They're lifelong learners and that we build on that, and our world is not static, it's dynamic, it's always changing. To stay abreast of what's going on and to be the most successful, you have to continue learning, and that's true for us as educators as well. Student voice is at the heart of what we do. We have to understand, right, that has to be incorporated to what we're doing. The way I would simply describe that is voice and choice. Okay, I'm going to have a monument project. You can do Minecraft. If you're technologically inclined, put it all on the computer. If you're more artistically, you want to be hands-on, whether you want to do clay, you want to do wood, and you have that choice, but go do the research, right? What is your passion about? And come be ready to present and to listen to others who are going to share their passions. You want to sum up my experience? I'm happy to teaching. Hashtag, it's a wonderful life.
I am a third-generation educator. My grandmother was actually my second grade teacher, and I remember watching her and knowing that she built relationships with all of us. If you came into that classroom, you could not have picked out which student was her grandchild. I'm in a very unique position this year as an intervention specialist. So while I don't have my own class in Power School, I get to pull students from throughout my entire building and focus on what they really need to be successful. So this year has afforded me the opportunity to really drill down with the data, look at the students as who they are and what they need, and focus in on that within my classroom. So every single day, I get to promote personalized learning. I get to focus on, prerequisite skills and closing gaps and making sure that kids are not just falling further behind within a regular classroom, but they get that level of intervention that will help them meet their grade level standard. It's one thing to know a kid's favorite color or what they like for lunch, and it's another thing to know that you can be their voice about what they can do in the future. So I just really want that to be what we do.
I remember I was 6 years old and I taught my 3-year-old brother how to read at 6 years old. And I thought, this feeling is wonderful. Opening up a whole world to a small child feels amazing. Now, I do not teach small children, but I definitely felt like it was part of my calling in life to be a helper, a professional helper. And that's what drew me to education. Personalized learning is all about not having a one-size-fits-all philosophy of education. Educators, their role is to be a guide. Take their curiosity and expand it and show them things that they never knew they could do. As educators, it's our job to prepare kids and the youth of America to be functioning adults and be successful. And so it's our job to teach them how to be people. And so it's not just about what you learn in the classroom, the skills and the curriculum, all of that's really important. The more educators recognize that we're teaching kids how to become adults and how to become the future leaders, the more serious we take our jobs.
I teach all of our students on a rotation schedule. So discovering and learning and growing with my 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students in our Learn, Serve, Engage classroom is one of the truest joys of my life. Together we are able to design and implement student-led, curriculum-based service learning projects that serve our community while also centering and amplifying their student voices. Our curriculum should boldly value students' backgrounds and enlist them as active participants in and advocates for their own education. Powerful teaching is rooted in powerful listening. If we listen and we design the route and we remove the roadblocks or the inequities for our students, then we can really set them up for success in order to achieve the ultimate goal of empowering them as agents of positive change for the future.
It also brings some old math words back. So this first sentence says the sum of the ages. What do I need to be thinking about in my brain? Addition.
My father went to this high school and so did his sister. I went to this high school and so did my sister. So that makes me uniquely suited that I am truly a member of this community. So personalized learning for math is like living on an island. We are very unique in the way that we can personalize learning because our standards are much more rote than the other subjects. And so my philosophy is to bring excitement back into math. I try to find things that my kids are good at, skills that they can do to make them excited about being successful at math again. And so I have to move through the curriculum at a pretty fast pace, but I try to do so by helping my students find things they can do along the way and reminding them that math isn't about mastering everything. It's about finding something you're good at and getting really good at it. And that skill applies to life too.
I had a teacher who I didn't connect with, and I went from a kid that loved school to a kid that did not like school. So when it came time for me in my junior, senior of high school to decide what I wanted to do, I decided I wanted to go back and be an elementary school teacher. So no kid who was in my classroom felt the way I did that year. When they walk out of my classroom, I want them to feel great about themselves. I think all learning should be personalized learning. So the first step for me is you have to understand where kids are, how to figure out where they are. And a big piece of that is we want to be data-driven classroom. We all know we have different levels everywhere. So meeting the student where they are is very important. And so that's the first part for me. And then the other piece of it is learning style. No two kids learn the same. So we have to make sure we're giving them all types of different experiences that'll allow them to learn how they learn best. Not how we want to teach, but how they learn.
I always knew since my first Spanish teacher that I wanted to be a Spanish teacher as well. Bringing tons of culture into my classroom, bringing the language into my classroom, making it authentic, creating real communication between students and the outside world, expanding the walls of my classroom beyond just this school and into our community. And it's really such a fulfilling thing to be able to do that with our students each and every day. Well, we're a college preparatory school, so we believe that it's our job to prepare each student to attend a four-year university, if that's their choice. So we really believe in pouring into each student as an individual. And each student loves certain things and hates certain things about their school day. And so as a teacher, I try to collaborate as much as I can with other teachers around the building, which gives students a chance to not only learn Spanish, but to connect Spanish with things they might love, like art or science or history. And I think that when you bring in a diverse set of interests like that, it's automatically motivating and inspiring to students, encouraging them to continue forward and do their best with Spanish, even if Spanish isn't their brightest spot in the day.
I believe that connections are key. If you can get kids to actually participate actively in their education, then they have a connection to it.
I believe that stories matter and every single student has a story.
I believe in this concept of public education. It is a good that has to be available to all.
I believe that building relationships with students is about becoming a voice inside of a student's head, letting them know what they are capable of, and helping them find a vision for their future.
I believe the purpose of education is to guide young people to be the best adult that they can be.
I believe that the true aims of education should be to empower all students to become agents of positive change for the future as they see fit.
I believe that everyone can find something that they're good at, and it's my job every day to instill excitement in my students that they will be able to find the thing that they're good at.
I believe that relationships and personal connections are the foundation of education, and it's my job to cultivate a classroom environment where these exist at the deepest levels.
I believe that education works best for students when their teachers collaborate with each other and with other experts in the field to bring them the most well-rounded, complete education possible.